Have you guys seen this Andrew Tate guy? That's like
No.
he's like this guy is like sort of popular now. He's become like a viral thing. He was like an American kickboxer, but apparently was quite successful kickboxer. But he's gone like viral a lot on like TikTok and shit lately because he has all these clips where he's just like talks about how you should just like fucking control women and like all this crazy shit that's like. It seems as though he's just saying it to like spark up people.
It's provocative.
As a troll. But he has this thing called Hustlers University where it's like you sign up to this thing and he teaches you to hustle and make money.
I know this guy.
Cash line. Yeah.
Dude, I've watched a lot of his content. He's brainwashing me, actually.
Yeah. So I was looking into this, like this Hustlers University thing. I had to look into it, like what it actually is. And so it's about like marketing your product. And apparently the main thing that they teach is like sharing clips of him doing weird shit will like drive traffic to your website. So he's got this like fucking pyramid scheme where it's like you get people to sign up and then you get money and like all this shit. So this dude's just running this like insane pyramid scheme from what I can see. I don't know if it's like if
this
that's how
guy
it works.
is taken the brightest of red pills ever. And he believes like there's all this shit about sort of misusing women and how high value alpha men like him would never have just one girl. And you know, how the girls are hoes, and he kind of explains to people what their sexual market value is. And like, I'm about to get myself canceled. The problem is he's like 80-20 right? Like a lot of what he says isn't crazy. Like, do guys hold on to their sexual market value a little later in life? Yeah. Do women like rich guys? Yeah. Do women like handsome guys? Yeah. Maybe not the toppest of priorities, but it's on there. What do guys like? Oh, they like really hot, submissive, young, inexperienced women. Guys, I sometimes like that.
I think it's like
whoa, guys do, not us here at PKA.
We like 55-year-old
lawyers.
Only lawyers. What I like is a 71-year-old pig. An absolute pig.
Somebody relinked me when we were talking to Boogie about his ideal woman the other day, and I never watched clips of the show. I could count on one hand.
His ideal woman is chained to a radiator.
Oh my fucking god! I was rolling watching Us, which sounds like such a scummy thing, but it was so fucking funny. It was like cutting back and forth between us having the conversation I'm having right now, frankly. But then like going back to Boogie and him talking about my wife gets groped all the time. And I'm thinking like, wait, what? He's like, yeah. I see guys grabbing her ass and her tits all the time. It happens all the time.
That's what he said?
Yeah. And I was like, well, maybe you should get a gun. He's like, she don't need a gun. She's got me. And I'm like, sounds like she's getting groped left and right. You're not cutting the mustard, bro.
You said that?
Yeah. And he's like, oh no. Those guys took one look at me and they knew it was
They took one look at me and questioned the structural integrity of the rebar below the building. Get the hell out of there.
The thing that weirds me out about that guy is he's like, yeah, all women are dumb, but it's like maybe it's just the women that he's attracting. Like maybe he just attracts fuckwits that want money. And it's like maybe it's because you're a fuckwit that wants money that you're attracting these. Like you could probably get a higher
job in his female analysis, right? Maybe they're not so dumb. They're the ones getting his money.
Yeah, well, maybe he did. Like if you just attracted someone attracted someone that is like someone that has some substance. If he had some substance, he'd be able to like attract a mate like that, and then he wouldn't have these complaints,
I need to watch some of this guy's content.
Oh, and
truly red pills.
Yeah, dude, he's so crimson red in his pills. Yeah. And so what he'll do, this is the nature of his podcast. It'll be him, maybe another guy or two, and these are all alpha high value men, and they kind of are. And then he gets these like sluts. I think a lot of them might like literally be sex workers, and they're not good speakers. They can't string together a sentence. When they try to make a point or go against him, they lose their thoughts midway. They can't say things concisely. And he uses this against them in the funniest ways. He'll give them the floor to explain themselves, and they just trip over their own words and suffer, and he never loses an argument. In the same way that I have seen Joe Rogan beat like astrophysicists at astrophysicism or whatever the fuck that is, because Joe's a professional communicator and they're struggling to say what they're trying to say. He does this to these bimbos all the time, and it's content. He's got it figured out.
Sure. He's got his little engine going. Where it's like, all right, I bring these dumb broads in, let them ramble for a bit, and then the red pill hero swoops in.
Exactly. Dude, he's like dunking on Fisher Price hoops all podcast long.
just Ben Shapiro mode, where it's like, I'm talking to an 11-year-old communist, and it's like, where do you think money works, you fucking idiot? Like, flipping him.
He literally is the forehead.
He's just like bullying him, like, how do you think the economy worked? How do you think it worked? Just fucking flicking on 11-year-old.
Someone was recommending him to me the other day as a guest because they said he would not come
on the show, and I wouldn't want to.
Yeah,
which one are we talking about? Shapiro or Tate?
No, I'm talking about Tate.
Oh, Tate.
Because they described him to me, and it sounded so much like Dick Masterson when he used to do that character when he was on. Was it what show?
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
This guy's like an unironic Dick Masterson.
He can't be unironic. He's kidding, right? I mean, he believes some of it, but he's playing it up.
I haven't watched his shit.
Oh, well then fair.
You got to bring him on. I want to watch you guys.
He always whips out the same statistics. Like he's really, really anti-marriage, and he's like 80% of women are the people who, or 80% of divorces are initiated by women. And I looked it up because that number surprised me. Mm-hmm. And the way that he pitches that stat is that women are getting their hooks into you and then taking your money on the way out as their master plan from the beginning. I looked into it. It was 70%, but let's agree that, it's mostly women.
Lopsided.
Yeah. And it might be 80 in his state.
In his experience.
Who knows, right? But what's happening is these women are getting married and there is not a good deal for them. Like now both couples are working, but in addition to work, she's doing all the kin work, all the laundry, all the cooking, all of this, all of that. And she's like, this kind of sucks. It's not it's not the dream I had in mind. And they get divorced. That is a more common tale than my trick to get his money is to get him ring on it, stick around for 2 years and then take his money.
And that's how he thinks all relationships are.
That's what he's pitching it as, like a common female master plan.
He's throwing the warning out there. Be aware that this is what happens 70-80% of the time when there's a divorce.
I mean, this motherfucker is just a really bad judge of character and just that shit.
Yeah. And it's also like something manipulative about those stats is it behaves as though 70% of all marriages will end that way. In reality, people tend to be serial divorcers and they divorce over and over and over.
Yep.
So the average person is not divorced once. People who have been divorced tend to be divorced multiple times.
So this says, in fact, 70% of divorces are initiated by women. That ties into what I saw. The study suggests 2/3 of divorces are initiated by women. Weird. In college-educated women, the number jumps up to 90%. And this is just Woody talking, but I attribute that to like college-educated women being more commonly the dual income, unfair labor distribution situation that I described.
Yeah. Or
what's the reason?
What do you mean?
I didn't understand. What's the what?
What's the reason that they're getting divorced though? Like, why are they?
The thing I read said that unequal labor distribution was like a really common thing, that the women are expected to earn half the income, raise the kids, take off for the kids, do the laundry, do the dishes, do the cooking, do the cleaning, and guys are just they're like the guys are living the 1950s life while she also pitches in an income.
Who's writing this? Who wrote that?
It was on the internet, Taylor. It was right there.
Oh. I mean, that sounds like a bitter person who had bad luck in the relationships going, you know how it is. You know how it's just like the 1950s out here. I'm doing all the work and I'm a social worker. And it's like, this is not the norm. In the norm, when both partners work, like both work on the house. Like that's much more.
What's your household chore of choice, Taylor?
I work from home. And so like I clean every single day. I like living in a clean house. I keep my kitchen every single day. Like when I get a little break, like usually over lunch, I deep clean my whole kitchen again. I make sure every single thing is clean in there because I like it clean. I make sure my dining room, because like I live in a ranch style house. So like I like making sure my whole upstairs is nice and tidy.
I was hoping you were going to say she does her part and I smoke meats.
Yeah,
that's how we divide.
I am the meat man.
So I tell you the
what else
best way
do you
to
want?